TVS, America's #1 independent television network, presents the following sports exclusive. On June 16th, 1973, a men and women's basketball team from the United States of America crossed the famed border bridge into the People's Republic of China for the first formal team sports competition between these two great countries. Included in the delegation of 52 was a six-man team from TVS. In the next 90 minutes, you'll see the exclusive coverage of this historic trip. Tonight in color, from the Capitol Gymnasium in Peking, TVS presents the historic first meeting between the United States and the People's Republic of China in men and women's basketball. Tonight's exclusive coverage is brought to you by your American Motors dealer, where you get a good deal and a good deal more. This is Peking, capital of the People's Republic of China. I'm Dick Enberg, and for the next 90 minutes, it's our extreme pleasure to bring you highlights of this first ever historic tour, first competition between China and the United States in basketball, men's and women's basketball, represented by a collegiate all-star team coached by Memphis State coach Gene Bartow, and the AAU women's champions from John F. Kennedy College in Wahoo, Nebraska. Highlights of that action, as well as the sights and sounds of this magnificent city, its great country, and its people. To my right, in this, the People's Square, the Square of Heavenly Peace, is the museum, the People's Museum. Beyond me, tributes to those monuments, those who fought in the cause of the revolution. And to this side of the square, the Great Hall of the People. And beyond me is the Imperial Palace. This country, of course, ruled by monarchy until 1912. Forbidden Gardens, they were called for a while, not forbidden now. And that will be our first visit as we talk with Gene Bartow, get an insight into this trip and to the U.S. men's team as we continue with this TVS Sports Exclusive in just a moment. In this unusual setting on the Square of Heavenly Peace is where we now conduct what on our normal TVS basketball telecast would be our scouting report. We're some almost 10,000 miles from the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee, where the Tigers play under the guidance of Coach Gene Bartow. Gene will be tutoring tonight the U.S. team against what should be a very fine People's Republic of China club.
Well, we've heard a lot about them, Dick, and of course, since we've been here, we've heard a great deal about their 6'10" player, Ching Hua Cho, I believe, and they think they have a fine team here, and we're looking forward to great competition with these wonderful people.
Could you share with us now your starting lineup tonight?
Well, Dick, we'll be starting at guards, George Carl from North Carolina and Quinn Buckner from Indiana. We'll be going with Kevin Greavy from Kentucky at one forward and Ronnie Robinson from Memphis State at the other forward, and Rich Kelly from Stanford at the center position.
Rich Kelly, a 7-footer, and everywhere that we have gone in the People's Republic, the people have stopped and stared at the height of this man.
Well, Rich, of course, is our biggest player, and Jim Andrews, 6'11", from Kentucky, our next biggest. And then we've got Alvin Adams, 6'10", from Oklahoma, so we've got great size. At guard, we'll have Kevin Stakem probably backing up as first man. He's been playing awfully well over here.
He's the gentleman who teamed with Ernie DiGregorio in the backcourt for Providence.
This is correct, and he's an outstanding basketball player, as all 12 of our players that we have here. They're all fine players, and they're all doing an excellent job.
Now, you and your team have been in China for a few days now. Any impressions come immediately to the surface?
Well, the friendliness of the people, they have been wonderful hosts. I'm sure as the game starts in a few hours, the The friendship will still be there, but the competition will be great. Both teams will definitely be trying very hard to win, and I think our players are very much looking forward to it.
I like the theme that we've heard so many times, that we are here for friendship and competition, but friendship first, because that can last forever, where competition may last only for a few days.
This is certainly the theme, and this is certainly the thought that has taken place in all areas since coming to China.
We'll be back with tonight's historic basketball action right after this message. And here's the big moment we've been waiting for, the historic first meeting in international sports competition between the United States of America and the People's Republic of China. This is Capitol Gymnasium in Peking, the largest arena in all of China. 18,000 fans to see this much publicized competition. And there they are, high atop the gymnasium, the flags of the two countries, the USA and the People's Republic of China. They have never been closer than tonight. And let us all hope for all people that that sight might prove a portent of this world's future. Well, the opening ceremonies are about to begin, so let's go down to the floor of this magnificent arena. Presentation of the colors for China, Chung To-wei, who wears number 7, and we understand a very fine shooter. And for the United States University of Kentucky sophomore, Kevin Greavy. Following the U.S. flag, there's the head coach of the women, George Nicodemus, then the men's coaches, Gene Bartow and Bob Hopkins. Hopkins, a former All-American scoring champion at Grambling, is now the head coach at Xavier of Louisiana. In a moment, they'll form in opposite lines for the exchange of gifts. You see the athletes carrying them in the outside hand. And we understand that to add even more significance to this great night, we're going to be honored with a surprise visit from Chang Ching, Madam Mao Zedong, whose reputation is that of being not that friendly to the Western world. The pomp and circumstance as we're about to get into the basketball action, which will follow immediately. And of course, this, all the color and pageantry, the excitement that goes with this visit. And I know the athletes have been waiting a long time for this big night. There's a stir in the crowd. Yes, and there she is, Chang Ching, the wife of the chairman of the People's Republic of China, Mao Zedong. She, along with her top sympathetic aide, Yao Wen-yuan, are being escorted to the court by Dr. David Dirge, president of Southern Illinois University and the head of the U.S. delegation. We understand that Madam Mao is wearing a dress for the very first time in 24 years, since 1949, the year of the revolution. And you know, this has very significant political importance, fans. Madam Mao and Mr. Wen Yuan immediately behind her are reputed to be the leaders of the most radical wing of the party, the least friendly to us. And for them to be here tonight to officially greet the United States team is in essence a form of overt political acknowledgement by the more radical element of the party. And then for Chang Ching to wear a dress too and a white shoulder purse, a definite Western look, well, that's an even more obvious gesture that seems to say, yes, we want all in the world to know that we too support Chairman Mao and Prime Minister Zhou Enlai's welcome, and that we too wish for understanding and friendship between China and the United States. And as you can see, everyone impressed with the height of the United States team members, especially Rich Kelly, the 7-footer there at the far end of the men's line. The rest of the official Chinese party greeting the American athletes. The tall gentleman on the left is the chief of the U.S. Liaison Office in China, David Bruce, the white-haired gentleman just going up the stairs now. He just recently arrived in Peking. And we're set to go. The 18,000 fans who were allowed to enter the gymnasium just 30 minutes ago continue their rhythmic applause to the music as the teams now hand in hand will file off. We understand the admission for this historic game that could have attracted more than 100,000 fans if seats were available were priced at 10, 20, and 30 chow, or 5, 10, and 15 cents American money. Isn't that a great sight? As the Chinese banners decorating the gymnasium read, "Long live the friendship between the people and sportsmen of China and the other countries of the world." In Chinese, we might answer, "Sure, sure. Yes, yes." And now let's take a close-up look of the men's delegation representing the United States as they prepare to meet the People's Republic of China. A 6'3" sophomore from South Plains, Texas Junior College, number 4, George Pennell. 6'3" senior from North Carolina, number 5, George Carl. 6'3" freshman from Indiana, number 10, Quinn Buckner. A 5'11" junior from Kansas State, number 7, Lon Kruger. 6'4" junior from Providence College, number 8, Kevin Stakem. A 6'7" junior from Ohio State, number 9, Wardell Jackson. A 6'8" senior from Memphis State, number 6, Ronnie Robinson. 6'8" senior from Xavier of Louisiana, number 11, Dan Jackson. A 6'9" freshman from Oklahoma, number 12, Alvin Adams. The captain, 6'5" sophomore from Kentucky, number 13, Kevin Greavy. Another Wildcat, 6'11" senior from Kentucky, number 14, Jim Andrews. And a 7-foot sophomore from Stanford, number 15, Rich Kelly. Remainder of the men's delegation, head coach Gene Bartow of Memphis State. The assistant coach, Bob Hopkins from Xavier of Louisiana. The team manager, Buddy Travis of South Plains Junior College. Team physician, H.C. Palmer from Searcy, Arkansas. The trainer, Eugene Smith from Memphis State. Press liaison, Roger Baldessari, Notre Dame. The referee from Washington, D.C., Jim Howell. And the chief of the men's delegation, the commissioner of the Big 8 Conference, Chuck Ninus. Now introducing the men's team for the People's Republic of China. Number 4, 6 feet tall, the oldest member of the team, 37 years old, Li Chongchang. 6'4", 28 years old, Yao Tu Chen, number 5. 6'1", he's 26 years old, number 6, Wong Tu Li. 6'5½", 27 years old. He is the flag bearer, number 7, Chong To-wei. 6'5", he's 25 years old, number 8, Sung Chen-ping. The youngest member of the team, 24 years old, he's 6'3", number 10, Chong Chen-si. 6 feet tall, 35 years old, number 11, Chong Chen-ping. The captain of the Chinese team, 6'4", he's 32 years old, number 12, Wang Chongyu. 6'4", 28 years old, number 13, Su Chengweng. The assistant captain, 24 years old, the youngest member of the team, co-youngest, he's 6'1", number 14, Wang Ying-se. The tallest on the Chinese team, he's 6'10", 25 years old, number 15, Chao Long-tai. And 6'8½", 27 years old, number 16, Fong Yuan Shu. The coach of the Chinese team, Chen Chen-hai and Lu Chong-sin. We'll be back with the opening tip-off after this message. And now one of the exciting moments in international sports history, the first meeting between the United States of America and the People's Republic of China in a competitive team sport. It's never happened before in men's competition. The United States, Rich Kelly, they call him Clint Eastwood, the big 7-footer from Stanford, jumping against number 7, Chong To-wei. He's only 6'5½", so they give the United States the tip, and Quinn Buckner of Indiana has the ball. And immediately a foul is called on number 11, Chong Chen-ping. Now, of course, as you know, in international rules, unless a man is in the act of shooting, he does not take the shot. They play it from the side. Number 6 is Ronnie Robinson. Robinson to Kelly, good outside shooter for his size. That's Quinn Buckner, and the Hoosier gives the Americans a 2-0 lead. United States in a man-for-man defense. Gene Bartow said he'd only go to his zone if the Chinese should rattle off 6-8 quick points in a row. A foul away from the ball committed on number 15, Kelly of the United States. So the big center draws the first foul. Starters are Quinn Buckner of Indiana, George Carl of North Carolina at the guards, Kevin Greavy, number 13, and Ron Robinson, number 6 at the forwards, and Kelly, 15 at center for the United States. Oh, that one was right out of the hip pocket. A long looping jumper from the side as number 13, Su Chengweng, ties the score at 2-2. Robinson, the left-hander from Memphis State. The big cat can't hit. Greavy unable to collect the rebound, and here come the Chinese. Wang Ying-chi. Su Chengwen inside, and a traveling call against number 8, Sung Chen-ping. Kelly cannot not make the shot from underneath. He was hit from behind by number 14, Wong Ying-sie. Very difficult to read the numbers on the front of the uniforms, the red uniforms of the Chinese, very small up in that left chest. Kelly from Stanford, only a sophomore, 2 years left with the Cardinals at Palo Alto, grew up near the campus at Menlo Park. Grown from the crowd, they expect the United States to make all the shots. The great reputation, international reputation, has preceded this American team, and Kelly misses 2. Robinson gets the 2 anyway, and the United States leads 4-2. Just underway from the Capitol Gymnasium. 18,000 strong here to see this international battle. Tipped away in the Chinese control. Xuan Chenping, good action. It's a shorter Chinese team. A whistle away from the ball. 3-second violation. No basket as Xuan Chenping hit from the side, but 3-second violation denies the tying goal. It's 4-2 United States. Quinn Buckner shouting out instructions as he comes down court. Kelly off to Robinson. Deflection goes to the Chinese on the run. 3-on-2. George Karl blocking the path of number 13, Su Chen-wen. And the foul goes against Chen-wen. And the United States turns it over with a long pass. So it's 4-2. The United States leads, and a ragged start for both sides. The U.S. has had a chance to practice about 16, 17 times under Gene Bartow. They played a game against some professional stars in Memphis earlier, but have only practiced twice here in Peking since their arrival. Whistle and a foul against number 10, Quinn Buckner of the United States. Buckner has his first foul. 4-2, the United States leads. 2 minutes, 15 seconds have been played. Whistle. And the foul is on Kelly of the United States for blocking. So a substitution is going to be made in a hurry. Jim Andrews is off the bench. Carl Hawking on defense. You saw him on our TBS telecast when the United States met the USSR. Traveling against number 11. That's twice that the Chinese have turned over the ball on traveling violations. And in comes number 14, Jim Andrews, a senior from Kentucky. He's 6'11", home Lima, Ohio. He replaces Rich Kelly. 4-2. The United States leads. 2 minutes, 35 seconds gone. Ron Robinson, 15-footer. Not there. Rebound by Cheng Wei. And Robinson commits the foul, stopping that fast break. Now that was a foul in international rules that pays off, as the Chinese had a definite 2-on-1 break, and Robinson committed the foul to stop the basket. And of course no free throw shot because the man had not had an opportunity to make his action toward the hoop. Controlled by number 7, Tai Wei. 25-footer, a long bomb by Cheng Wen. Here comes Carl from North Carolina. Off to Greavy, and the captain of the U.S. team, Greavy, hits the left-handed bank, and it's 6-2 United States. Greavy, perhaps the best outside shooter on this U.S. team. He was so outstanding for the Wildcats down the stretch, averaging 30 points or better a game in the last 5 for the Wildcats. Number 7, Chung Tae-Wei has his first 2 points, and it's 6-4. The U.S. leads. Andrews, the big center, comes high. That's Greavy, soft touch, but he's a little short on that one. Steals the ball for a moment, but the Chinese control a chance to tie the scores. They head up court. 3 minutes, 45 seconds gone. Tae-Wei. Foul on Buckner as the shot was missed by number 11, Chung Shenping. So Buckner has his second foul.
There's a timeout on the court with a score, United States 6, China 4.
Most car dealers tell you they stand behind what they sell. American Motors dealers let their customers tell you.
I've heard about the buyer protection plan, through the TV stations and things like this. But to hear about it and then to actually see it working, for you, I've had little things go wrong that didn't work, and I've taken it in. They've been fixed immediately with no questions about who's paying for this or who's paying for that. It just works. It's a good thing.
AMC dealers, where you get a good deal and a good deal more.
From Peking to Moscow, that's the TVS itinerary for the summer months, as our next stop will be the capital of the USSR for the World University Games. From August 15th through the 26th, on most of these same stations, you'll see 10 hours of exclusive coverage as over 70 countries compete in 9 different sports in the World University Games. Track and field, swimming, gymnastics, just a few of the sports which will be covered, and participating will be many of the great heroes of the Munich Olympics. Olga Korbut and Valery Borsov, just to name 2 of the great Russian athletes. So mark down those dates, August 15th through the 26th. The World University Games, exclusively on TVS. The score is 6-4. And to the line goes the 6-footer Chung Chen-ping with a chance to tie the score. US 6, China 5. Robinson can't handle the rebound. It's knocked away. And the fans reacting to Jim Howell's demonstrative call. Greavy pops from 20 feet. Kevin Greavy makes it 8-5. The United States leads. You'll notice throughout this telecast that the Chinese spectators, there's over 18,000 fans jammed into this Capitol Gymnasium, are very quiet. They will applaud much as you might going to the theater or to the ballet. The outstanding performance. They don't cheer as such. That is about as close as they'll come, as Chung Tae-wei has his 4th point, and it's 8-7 the United States. Carl gets inside with a scoop shot, can't hit. Rebound by number 13, Cheng Wei. Chinese can take the lead. And have it. Number 14, Wong Ying-se. Makes it 9-8. China leads for the first time in the game. It comes with 4 minutes and 45 seconds gone. We understand outside this auditorium raining hard as Carl gets it into Greavy, and Greavy is fouled before the shot. The United States will play it from the side. 9-8 the score. The climate of China from north to south during the summer is hot and humid, and a tropical rainstorm now falling outside as Quinn Buckner drops in a big raindrop of his own. 15-footer from the side, and the U.S. leads 10-9 as Buckner now has 4 points. Friendship through sports, the theme that we have seen and read and heard throughout our visit to the People's Republic of China. And certainly we follow that theme and support it here on TVS as Tae-wei now has 6 points and China leads 11-10. But Carl comes right back to give the United States the lead at 12-11 with his first goal. Carl from Penn Hills, Pennsylvania, number 1 scorer for the Tar Heels last year when he averaged better than 17 a game. But China gets it right back as Chen Ping has 3 points. 13-12, China leads. Back-to-back scoring here early. Nearly 6 minutes gone in the first half. Andrews fouled from the blind side as caught reaching in was number 11, Chen Ping, his first foul. Carl asked to tie his shoes. Timeout with 5 minutes, 58 seconds gone in the first half. The score, China 13, the United States 12. U.S. trails 13-12. Greavy can't hit from outside. Carl inside with a tip. The 6'3 guard from North Carolina outleaping the taller Chinese defenders to get that bucket. Carl has 4. U.S. leads 14-13. Chen Wen with the ball. Number 7, Tae-wei with a drive. Can't score. And the foul. Riding in on the back of the U.S. rebounders is number 11, Chen Ping. You saw Gene Bartow of Memphis State, ready number 9, Wardell Jackson of Ohio State to come into the ball game. And again, Carl having trouble with his shoes. That will allow Jackson to come into the game. Jackson replaces Jim Andrews. So the United States now without the big center. Andrews 6'11", and Rich Kelly 7 feet are on the bench. And the tallest man on the court now is Ron Robinson of Memphis State at 6'8". 14-13. Quinn Buckner
to Robinson. Jackson inside with the 8-footer. Ball comes to Buckner, and he dribbled it on the baseline, out of bounds to China. Nearly 7 minutes gone. The United States brought some banners as well, saying the United States happy to be here in the People's Republic of China, and supporting the Friendship Through Sports theme, Friendship Through Competition. Deflection by Buckner. Robinson steals a long pass to Buckner, and he tips off to Jackson. Carl is free, and a 3-second violation against the U.S. that denies them the basket. Robinson cannot deny number 7, Zhang Tawei, who has 8 points to lead all scorers, and China back in front, 15-14. Jackson, little 5-footer scores. Wardell Jackson from Ohio State makes his home in Toledo, Ohio. Good rebounder and defensive player for Fred Taylor and the Buckeyes. It's a fine team. Gene Bartow has said that he feels that in many ways just as good as the Olympic team that represented the U.S. in Munich, and that's Quinn Buckner, one of the reasons why, with a steal and the basket. What a story Buckner is. Only a freshman at Indiana, and he starred as a starter in both football and basketball in the Big Ten. U.S. with an 18-15 lead. 8 minutes now exactly have been played in the first half. Good move inside. Unable to make the goal was Chen Nguyen. A scramble. Buckner up with a loose ball. He has Carl with him. Good move by Buckner. Off to Carl. What a basket. Let's see that one again. It was Quinn Buckner at midcourt who made the quick move and set up George Carl for the drive and the 2 points. That's the top play of this game. And the United States leads 20-15. U.S. 20, China 15. 8 minutes, 20 seconds gone in the first half. Buckner reaching in commits the foul. And for Buckner, that is his third. He has been the outstanding playmaker, but he's picked up 3 quick fouls in this first half. And Kevin Stakem has stripped off his warm-up jersey. The 6'4" junior guard from Providence will be in shortly. Buckner has to play cautiously, a 3-second violation against the Chinese, and with the score 20-15, the U.S. plays it down court, but first the buzzer stops play to allow the substitution. Number 8, Kevin Stakem from Providence, makes his home in Flushing, New York. He'll replace Ernie DiGregorio in that back line for Providence next year. Mighty big shoes to fill, but Stakem, an excellent shooter, averaged nearly 18 points a game as a sophomore, hit 55% from the floor and 85% from the line. So Stakem and Carl the guards, Jackson, Robinson, and Greavy the front line. Robinson, the big cat with a hook. Greavy knocks it away. Carl, a 20-footer, and hits it. George Carl makes it 22-15. Mr. Trivia from North Carolina, we've had a lot of fun with him. He's kidded us about our Sports Challenge show, and by golly, I do believe he knows more about sports trivia than I do. He's embarrassed me a few times. Inside, number 8, Chen Ping. That's his first bucket. It's 22-17. Carl, a delightful kid. That's a 30-footer, and he is short. Tipped up by Robinson. Rebound, and nicely done by number 13, Chen Nguyen, who fired it off Wardell Jackson's feet. Fans enjoy that one. Just murmurs through the crowd. Almost waves of noise, light waves undulating through this 18,000 capacity crowd. 22-17 is the score, and a 3-second violation against the Chinese. Carl puts it in play quickly from the sidelines. It does not have to be handled in the backcourt, international rules. Carl up the alley. Oh, what a pass to Robinson for the score. Let's see that again. Carl set up Robinson, the big cat, waiting right in the goal crease there to convert that neat pass by Carl into 2. 4 points for Robinson, 24-17 the score. Exactly 10 minutes have been played, the halfway mark of this first 20-minute period. Ching Ping way off the mark. Jackson gets the rebound. Robinson controls. Carl at midcourt. 4-on-3. Another neat pass by Carl, and Jackson scores. Carl with an assist. He set a North Carolina record for assists last year, and you can see why. He's come up with 3 outstanding plays in this first half. 26-17 is the score. Loose ball. Chen Nguyen off to Tawei, and he's got the basket. He has been their leading player, 10 points for the 6'5.5" forward. Kevin Stakem with the ball, 26-19 the score. Deflected away, but Kevin Greavy on the side. Oh, he has a nice touch. Kevin Greavy from Kentucky makes it 28-19. 6 points for Greavy. He played well against the Russians. He scored 22 points in a single game. The foul is against the offensive player, and time will be called with 11 minutes and 5 seconds gone in the first half. The United States 28, the People's Republic of China 19.
You can receive a very attractive souvenir of the World University Games, a beautiful 4-color pin or patch, by sending just $2 to USCSC, Auburndale, Massachusetts, 02166. You'll have a beautiful memento of the World Games from Moscow, and at the same time be helping to send the U.S. delegation of over 300 athletes to this top international competition. So just send $2, indicating if you wish the pin or the patch, to USCSC, Auburndale, Massachusetts, 02166. The U.S. men continue to increase their lead, and we pick up action, closing minutes of the first half.
Just a minute and 7 seconds remaining in the first half. United States 46, the Chinese 33. And you really can't say enough about this Chinese team. After all, with the international relations, they have not played against the best basketball teams from around the world. They know that they're playing the greatest in the United States. We heard much talk of that. And they're a shorter team. Have not rebounded as well. Don't have the overall talent, but they've given the United States a very game battle throughout this first half. The foul against the Chinese, and a non-shooting foul. The U.S. will play it from the side. Less than a minute remaining in the first half. And the biggest man for the Chinese, 6'10", Chow Long Tai. Well, Mount Everest is a part of this magnificent country, the tallest point on earth, and this is the tallest man in a Chinese uniform tonight. He's their Mount Everest. Dan Jackson traveled. He went up, came back down, and then the goal negated by the traveling violation. 46-33 the score. Chung Chung loses the ball to Alvin Adams, and the big guy shows his dexterity as he lost control of the ball for a moment and still scored. See that one again. See how he lost the ball still without traveling, retained it, and made the basket 48-33. Chung Chung outside. A long bomb from the corner, not there for Tochin. Adams, George Pinnell, 15 seconds remaining in the first half. Pinnell, 15-footer. Rebound by Tochin. Just 5 seconds left, and the goal is good by Chen Si. And there's the gong to end the first half. And after 20 minutes of action, the score, the United States 48, the People's Republic of China 35.
We'll be back with a most exciting halftime show right after this message.
In this, the largest populated country in the world, over 800 million people, this Peking University for Physical Culture is the top university for the teaching of sports, athletics, and physical education. There are approximately 1,000 students here, men and women, as young as 13, as old as in the mid-20s. It is here that the American teams, basketball, women's and men, enjoy demonstrations in badminton, ping pong, gymnastics, athletics, basketball itself, and swimming. Certainly one of the highlights of our trip to this capital of the People's Republic of China.
This is just a small and a simple gymnasium here at the Physical Culture Institute on the outskirts of Peking. It really is kind of an unlikely stage for one of the highlights of our trip. These handsome young boys and girls, they're just 13 through 17 years of age, are performing the ancient art of Chinese boxing. As you can see, this one-time secret sport combines aspects of gymnastics, ballet, and combat. Let's watch and enjoy. Total body and mind concentration to allow the body and mind to become one. That is the purpose of these exercises. How about that for hand-eye coordination? And foot.
serious faces. You're going to enjoy the smiles that will come out of those faces later. They're beautiful children. Almost as if the young man and the weapon are one. I just can't believe this one. Here is where each of the young athletes has to be exact in his process, because those are lethal weapons that they're wielding. Again, the integration with the combat form, ballet, and gymnastics. By the way, you know, this is another feature that has never been shown on television outside China. This whole trip has provided us with so many unique first ever experiences, and we're so pleased that we can share them with you tonight on TVS. A fitting finale now. These are the beautiful young ladies at the Physical Culture Institute. After an incredible performance like that, all I can say on behalf of all of the Americans is thank you in Chinese, 谢谢. 谢谢. This concludes our tour of the Peking Institute of Physical Culture, and this is the entire group of 52 Americans who were able to visit the People's Republic of China, and this another very special day in that visit. Just to get the impressions of the educational form, the demonstrations they've seen today, well, a couple of the members of the squad, maybe the obvious thing is to talk to the two centers. Barbara Wishmeyer is a two-time All-American, AAU. The center of the women's team, we'll see her tonight against the Chinese women. Is there one thing that impressed you most today?
The discipline of the whole team. The coaches would say something and the whole group would just do it. That
ought to motivate you. Your coach is going to have a better player now.
I think he will.
That's Barbara Wishmeyer, the center for the men's team, the 7-footer from Stanford University. Rich Kelly, he has drawn many stares throughout his visit, his tour through China. Everywhere we go, it's fun to walk behind him and just look at the reaction of the Chinese people to Rich. What impressed you most today?
Like Barbara said, is the intenseness. You know, all day, all they think about, it seems, is the sports and the techniques and everything like that. I don't know if they could pull that off in the States, but if they did, we'd have better teams.
Do you have the feeling that you're going to find some very rough competition waiting for you tonight against the Chinese?
Well, the word is discipline, like Barbara said. I know they're going to be disciplined. I don't know how much experience they're going to have.
So another very complete and wonderful day. Our Chinese hosts have been outstanding. Everywhere the Americans have gone into the various demonstration areas, the Chinese athletes have given them applause. I think it might be appropriate in saying thank you to them to give them a round of hand, our hosts from the Chinese.
The second half of the men's game is about to begin, and we'll be back with the action in just a moment. The United States Collegiate Sports Council and its president, Nick Rodas, have been the coordinating force behind the tour of the U.S. men's team. The USCSC is made up of the NCAA, the NAIA, the NJCAA, and the AAHPER, and was organized to promote international collegiate sports competition and physical education programs as a means of enhancing international understanding and respect. To accomplish this, the USCSC arranges U.S. participation in international university sports competition all over the world, including its biennial World University Games.
We start the second half with a score of the United States 48, the People's Republic of China 35. Rich Kelly starts at center for the U.S. with Kevin Greavy and Ron Robinson at forward, Quinn Buckner, and George Karl at the guards. Same team that started the game. Kelly gets the tip, Robinson underneath to Quinn Buckner, and that's how the United States has beaten the Chinese, with the guard slipping inside for the easy buckets. And Buckner, playing with 3 fouls, now has 8 points. Well-balanced U.S. scoring, no one in double figures. The foul is on Buckner, and he showed why he was an outstanding defensive halfback with the Hoosiers as a freshman, led the team in interceptions with 5. He's got cat-like quickness and agility, but that also is his 4th foul. So Buckner with 4 fouls will be replaced almost immediately as Kevin Stakem comes in. So Buckner playing a little tough luck with the fouls. Actually, his size and aggressiveness and quickness seemed ready-made for this style of play, the rough international play. Zhao Longtai unable to hit. That's George Karl with a solo, and the North Carolinian has the bucket. Karl with 10 points. He's in double figures, the first for the United States. 52-35 the score. The U.S. opens a big lead. Interception by Stakem. He tried to feed ahead to Karl, but unsuccessfully. Now to Karl. Off to Greavy. Karl has another pretty assist, and Greavy gets the basket. He was fouled. And the foul against number 10, Chong Chen-Si. But, of course, they do not shoot the free throw on that. No three-point plays. Foul on Karl of the United States. That's his first. It's 54-35 is the score. This is Tawai. Open man. Long shy. And a foul as Greavy took the hook. So Kevin Greavy picks up the penalty. That's his first foul. Three-second violation against the Chinese, and Karl rips the ball away and gets it down court to Robinson, and that's the quick actions of Karl to get the basket for Robinson. And the foul across the way on number 13, Su Cheng Wei, his second. Robinson hustling down court to get that feed from Karl. Has certainly been outstanding with his assists. 8 straight points for the United States. It's 56-35 as the U.S. has taken a commanding lead early here in the second half.
The U.S. men continue to dominate play in the second half, and going into the final 2 minutes, the score is now United States 82, China 56.
We're down to the final 2 minutes here at the Capitol Gymnasium in Peking, and the bucket by number 8, Sung Chen-ping. He now has 8 points in the game. The score is United States 82, the People's Republic of China 58. Throughout this second half, the United States, with a barrage after the intermission, has led comfortably. It's been a very impressive victory for them against a game band of Chinese athletes. They're smaller. They don't have the expertise. They don't have the rebounding power. That's Lonnie Kruger of Kansas State hammering in a 20-footer to make it 84-58. But you have to give great credit to these people who love basketball. They name ping pong and basketball as their favorite sports, and basketball then perhaps their top team sport. And internationally, their presence will be felt surely in a very near future. That's Adams with a rebound, Kruger with a pass, Kruger with a change of pace, and he can't hit the bucket. He was fouled by number 10, Chung Chen-si. 4 points for him. As we come down to the final minute of the game, the score, 84-58. Quinn Buckner, who has had to sit out most of the game with 4 fouls, comes into the ball game, and he will replace Wardell Jackson. Girls game coming up. The United States women from John F. Kennedy College in Wahoo, Nebraska against a all-star team from the various physical culture institutes in the People's Republic of China. That's the women's basketball immediately following this game. Alvin Adams can't hit, but there's Dan Jackson of Xavier of Louisiana to get his first bucket. Makes his home in Hammond, Louisiana. It's 86-58. Top scores for the U.S. in the game. 16 points for George Karl, 8 for Kevin Stakem, 10 for Wardell Jackson, 8 for Quinn Buckner, 11 for Alvin Adams of Oklahoma, and 10 for Kevin Greavy of Kentucky. They're the leading scorers. And this man, number 7, the leading scorer for the Chinese, Chung Tae-wei, he has 16 points. He was just fouled and has a chance to add to that total. He has been the outstanding athlete. You can see from the perspiration-soaked uniform that he has played more than any man on the court. He's given it almost the full 40 minutes. Chung Tae-wei, he's 6'5½", 27 years old. And that is his 17th point. No other Chinese athlete in double figures tonight. Dan Jackson gets the rebound, and it's Quinn Buckner with the ball. We have only 25 seconds left. Buckner double team, gets it to George Pinnell. 86-59 the score. Alvin Adams twisting. He can't hit it. Follows his own shot and scores. Adams now with 13 points. He's been very impressive. Remember, he's got 3 years left with the Sooners. It's a very young United States team. A couple of freshmen, several sophomores. 3 seconds left, and a 3-second violation. Just 2 seconds remaining. Adams trying to thread it down court. As the gong sounds, that's the end of the game. The United States defeats the People's Republic of China. The final score, 88-59.
The final scoring statistics show George Karl of North Carolina leading the way for the U.S. men with 16 points. Alvin Adams of Oklahoma right behind him with 15. For the Chinese, the high scorer was Chung Tae-wei with 17. Final score again, United States 88, China 59.